All right, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to our third and final community webinar about our upcoming bond project for the Pool and Wellness Center and several other improvements within our district. Glad you could join us this evening. I'm Doug Wheeler, Superintendent. Tonight, we'll be going through where you can find more information on the bond, give a brief funding overview, talk about how and where people can vote, and then also an overview of the various key projects that are in this referendum, and then give a chance for some question and answer at the end. So if you want to participate from home, you can ask questions through the Q&A function here on Zoom. So you can see on this end of the screen, you'll see a little Q&A with two little speech boxes down there. And then also you'll type your question here. It will go to one of the members of our team, and we'll answer it live or ask it live. So before we get started, I want to do a quick introduction of everyone that's on the call tonight as a panelist. And I've already introduced myself, but we'll start with members of our team at College Community, then we'll move on to our members from the Y. So we'll start, Angie, if you want to introduce yourself and your role.
Sure. Hi, I'm Angie Morrison. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for the district.
Hello, Eric Townsley, the Executive Director of Information and Technology. I'm here to make sure everything runs smoothly on the technology side.
Hi, Steve Dozier, Communications Director.
All right, thanks. So Bob and Sarah, if you want to introduce yourself.
Good evening. I'm Bob Carlson. I'm the President and CEO of the YMCA of Cedar Rapids.
And Sarah Menser, Marketing and Development with the YMCA.
All right, so let's get going. Again, we've done a few information sessions. We've sent out some information. We'll continue to send out more. We want to make sure the public is aware of what this project is prior to the election date. And tonight is one of those efforts. So again, I really appreciate the time. Hopefully coming into your offices or your living room is a convenient way to learn about this project. So thanks again for joining. I want to start by thanking the Facilities Committee. This project is actually initiated from our Facilities Committee, which has been active for over a decade. And the first task of this Facilities Committee when it was formed many years ago was to examine the growth in our district and how to address that growth and prioritize needs. And the needs that were prioritized were updating of our buildings, making sure that our buildings have the capacity to serve a growing student population. With the opening of the 9th grade center here in the fall, the former Prairie Creek building, that completes that initial focus. And now the Facilities Committee wants to turn our attention to projects that enhance the lives of students, and in this case, hopefully enhance the lives of all the members of our community. So I want to thank the Facilities Committee for their efforts for many years in helping the board and helping the administration of the district prioritize needs. So our key referendum projects are the Pool and Wellness Center. That's the large portion of this. However, we're going to talk also about some other projects that I think sometimes are overlooked in the scale of the Pool and Wellness Center, which is a wrestling center, baseball, softball, batting area, and then also some improvements to John Wall Stadium. This is just an indication of what the ballot will say. Again, we do have our partners from the YMCA online. The YMCA is not mentioned in this ballot language because the building will be owned by the district, will be constructed by the district. So this is the ballot language that'll be on November 7th. And this is what we're going to talk through the various aspects of this evening. Want to direct people for additional information. We do have, you can scan this QR code and it takes you to our website, which we do have a full website for the bond, which I'm going to click on really quick here. And you can see on here, we've got a lot of information, which I'll cover this evening. Some videos explaining some of the aspects of the bond. And by the end of the week, we'll have our draft agreement with the YMCA posted on there as well. We've been working back and forth to make sure that that's available before Election Day. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Angie to talk a little bit about how this project is funded.
Yeah, so these projects will be funded with general obligation bonds, and this won't result in any increase in tax levy. We have been levying the maximum debt service of 405 for the last several years, and we've been doing that in order to pay ahead on some of our bond payments. We save a substantial amount of interest by doing that early, as well as just opening up more debt capacity for us in the future. So regardless of the outcome of this bond vote, we will continue to do that 405 levy.
And again, because we have a great mix of commercial and residential and definitely a growing commercial base within our district, that tax levy of 1661 has remained stable for many years. I think seven plus years that's remained stable. So that is how we're funding it. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the wrestling center. And this is actually going to be located in the old Prairie Creek building, which is currently under renovation at the moment. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, just continued expansion and success of Prairie wrestling programs. You can see there the boys Prairie wrestling program at the high school had 44 students, 42 at the middle school, but also Hammer and Hawks, which is the youth wrestling club, has over 210 wrestlers this past year. And then, as many of you know, the state recently sanctioned girls wrestling, and PHS had a showing of 23 with state champion, and middle school 10, and Hammer and Hawks with 30. So we anticipate the continued growth of those programs. And we have not renovated the wrestling room for a number of years. We want to make sure that these facilities are not only adequate to our growing program, but also our service to our youth programs and our feeder patterns throughout our school district. And I wanted to just share one thing real quick here. Again, this is why we're doing this. You can see some photos there of our boys wrestling team, our girls wrestling team, our current high school wrestling room. Also some high level participation there in the upper left-hand corner of our youth wrestling programs as well. So let's talk a little bit about that project. So for those of you that want a kind of graphic representation of where we're talking here, this is the gym area at the old Prairie Creek building, which is going to be the new 9th grade center. This is the building that's currently under renovation, which was funded by a previous bond. The idea here is several of these improvements actually are covered within the current updates that we're doing to the building, which will include HVAC upgrades, so heating and cooling upgrades for that area. Also, locker room updates. This building was built in 1959. There were a lot of locker room improvements that were needed to bring it up to ADA compliance. So those locker rooms are actually being renovated as part of this project, because this gym will be used by the 9th grade for PE, for physical education activities. So the first idea is to, and we're just calling this Wrestling Room A. It's not a priority or anything over the other one, but convert the South Gym into Wrestling Room A. And with that, install a vestibule and outside entrance to this space. That'll make it a lot more convenient for egress of different teams, also for our youth wrestling programs to access these spaces as well. On the mezzanine, which is on the second floor, removing the bleachers and installing a wall. That wall is actually being installed under the current project that we're doing at the 9th grade center. And converting that mezzanine into Wrestling Room B. So these two wrestling rooms, in partnership with our coaches, they walked it out. They're basically the same size within a few square feet. So definitely these are adequate facilities for our wrestling needs into the future. And we're kind of calling this project the Wrestling Center, even though this whole area will be used for many different functions, which I'll talk about on the next slide. So again, continued growth and expansion in softball and baseball is the next project. So that was the wrestling room project. Moving on to the baseball and softball batting area. PHS had 80 softball players last year, club 90. Baseball, PHS had 100 and the clubs had 275. So again, another active program, not only serving our current sanctioned sports, but our feeder patterns and youth in our community. And again, this is why we're doing this, right? So just give you an opportunity to see some of our teams, some examples of our club teams, as well as our Prairie softball and baseball teams. So the softball and baseball hitting area is actually located in the large gym in the old Prairie Creek building. And one of the things that we need to note is the gym will remain in use for 9th grade PE, as will the locker room facilities that are being updated. But what we're going to do is install on the ceiling, you can see kind of an example of what those look like, 3 batting cages that'll be lowered, able to be lowered from the ceiling when the school's not in session for practice of club teams, as well as our varsity and junior varsity and freshman teams. Underneath batting cage number 3, the bleachers are going to be removed. This is not going to be a competition gym anymore. We just opened a new competition gym at the new Prairie Creek with a lot of courts, 3 middle school size courts and a varsity size court over there that can be served by that gym. And install a turfed area below batting cage number 3, which offers increased flexibility for practice in that area, indoor practice during some of our cold and unpredictable Iowa spring weather, which is when softball occurs and starts to pick up. Also in this project is upgrades to John Wall Stadium. And there's 2 main reasons why we're proposing these upgrades. First of all is efficiency of operation. So this will centralize the visitor and home entry areas, and it'll also centralize the visitor and home concessions areas. So if anyone's been in the concession area underneath the bleachers at John Wall Stadium, it gets very congested down there. And also by servicing 2 different concession stands, it's very difficult to make sure we have enough workers and volunteers to be able to staff those. So efficiency of operation is one reason we're making this proposal. And the big thing also is fan visitor experience. So like I said, that congestion below the bleachers where the restrooms are located, the current concession stand will be converted into some storage area. But to make sure that there's space between the entry and the bleacher access. So if you enter John Wall Stadium, sometimes you feel like you're just right on top of the bleachers there. So that'll extend it back and also offer extended area for lines for concessions to reduce the congestion below the stands. And again, all of the images that I'm sharing with you today are not final images, they're spec images so that we can identify square footage needs and make sure that our costs are within what we're asking for in the bond. Final design of these facilities will be in partnership, of course, in this case with John Wall Stadium, with the Booster Club, who operates our concessions, et cetera. But that will not be completed until after the bond election if the bond referendum passes. A couple things to note really quickly is that the memorial panels for John Wall Stadium will be relocated to this newer building. And also the entry arch will be relocated. So if you see here, this home entry area, this is roughly where the arch is right now. It'll be moved back to there. You can see that that's going to offer a lot better traffic flow. And in this area to allow for some queuing of concessions. The other area to note is anything that's in a dotted line is fencing. So the visitor area will be here. The visitors will be able to be served out of this side of the concession stand. So it centralizes those concessions areas. Next, we'll move to the biggest piece of this referendum, which is the Pool and Wellness Center. The pool has definitely been a conversation point in the community for over 2 decades. I know that this is my 6th year with the district, and I've heard about it, the question, when are we going to get a pool, since I started here. And so the question is, we might be able to do that within the next year here. So that's what we're asking for. It started kind of as a conversation around the pool. One of the challenges in any pool project for a school district is the ongoing maintenance costs of that. And so we looked at ways that, we can build the building, but the ongoing maintenance, we don't have either the expertise or the ongoing money to be able to maintain that pool without dipping into other programming costs. The flow of money that it would cost us to maintain the pool, which we estimate to be between $300,000 and $400,000 a year, would come from our general fund budget, which is the same budget that we keep the lights on, all the utility bills, pay teachers, pay our curriculum costs, all of those types of things. So we really knew that we needed to be successful in this, we needed a partner. So we did reach out to the YMCA. Again, the YMCA is a membership-based organization. But one of the things that this allows us to do is by offering these other amenities so that the Y can make enough money to do the maintenance. So just a few basics of this. of why the Y is, they've been a partner since our initial scoping, which includes the survey that went out this summer, a representative sample survey that went out this summer. We paid for part of that. The Y paid for part of that. So we know going into this, before we brought this question to the community, that the Y is in, the district is in, that this is a good idea for our community. And so they've been a partner, very good partner. And obviously they're on the line tonight to answer some questions and to speak here after I give some overview. So the basics of this is that there is shared governance between the Y and the school district. So there'll be the superintendent and board president of the school district, the CEO of the Y and their board president, and a fifth community member from our district that is also a Y member that'll be on a governing board to help oversee the governance of this facility. The district will own the facility. We own the property that it's going to be placed on. We are paying for the facility, and the YMCA operates the facility and pays for the ongoing maintenance of that facility, aside from large items that are part of the building, such as HVAC. The district would be responsible because that is our facility. Just like if you rented an apartment, the landlord is responsible for some things. However, you're paying to keep the lights on, to keep the cable on, the internet on, and all that sort of stuff. But what this allows us to do is, through their membership, they are able to allow us access to those facilities, priority access to those facilities. So I really think it's going to be a good partnership if this passes. So college community will have priority use of the pool and multi-sport area for school run programs. So I want to be very specific that that's school run programs. So that would be things that we would do during the day as part of the curriculum. That would be competitive swimming competitions. That would be any team that we sponsor in terms of being a varsity team, junior varsity team, 7th grade, 8th grade, how we work those things out. It does not cover the various club activities. Club access will be based on a relationship with the Y. They'll have to contact the Y with that sort of access. But obviously, we want the Y to make sure that this is a facility that is operational for them. It works out for them. So membership or agreement-driven access for students, families, residents, and clubs. And we'll talk about a discount that YMCA, that residents will get here in a second. But it's much like when a community builds a rec center and they provide a discounted membership rate. Sometimes you can build a facility, but again, one of the reasons we're doing this partnership is because we want to make sure that we are able to operate this ongoing without sacrificing other programming in the district. And we will be releasing by the end of the week our draft agreement with the YMCA. We had committed to releasing that before the election, and we'll be releasing that later this week. Of course, we want to make sure that we've got that accurate before we get that out there, but we'll be releasing that within the next 2 days so that it'll be out and visible well in advance of the election. So thinking through the Wellness Center impacts, obviously the establishment of a high school competitive swim and dive program at Prairie. Currently our swimmers, boys and girls in swimming and diving, participate with Cedar Rapids Jefferson, which is we enjoy that partnership and we like that partnership. However, a lot of the students on those teams are Prairie students. And it also provides a kind of a barrier for participation if you don't have that level of transportation. So having it on campus, having it close, I think is a benefit to increasing participation, which is a thing we have to do as we continue to grow as a district. We need to make sure we have opportunities for students to participate. A swim experience for all 3rd and 4th grade students, at least a survival swimming experience for all of our 3rd and 4th grade students. Is something that we're scoping out. We haven't scoped out beyond 3rd and 4th grade right now, but that is a priority from the beginning, is we want to have an elementary swim experience for our students, which also drives the location of the facility because it is walkable from all of our elementary schools. Early childhood center access. So the Y does a great job with what they call child watch. So members can have their children watched for them while they're working out. This is not daycare. We do have a college community still continues to run a daycare. We still run wait lists on our daycare and wraparound programming. What this means is that there's a partnership to where we can offer some access to the YMCA for our daycare from time to time. Work experience, we plan to operate the cafe that's in this new facility if it's approved. We want our students to run that as part of our work experience training programs. We want our culinary students involved. We really want this to be a place where the community can interact with our students and learn about what's going on at Prairie. And finally, probably one of the very exciting things is this is a multi-generational space. So we have taxpayers that have children in our schools, but we have a lot of taxpayers that don't have children in our schools or don't have children in our schools anymore. And so this is an opportunity for the school district to fill a need. We're growing very quickly in Southwest Cedar Rapids, faster than the amenities that are available in Southwest Cedar Rapids. And we think that this is a great opportunity to serve all of our community, especially those that may not have students in school yet or don't have students in school anymore. We also have a lot of opportunities that we've kind of talked about and planned and projected. So based on the success of the high school swimming programs, looking at middle school swimming programs, there was a lot of feedback on the surveys that people are very excited about YMCA organized youth swimming programs and other programs that are currently not offered in our area, especially for students K through 6, but with a special emphasis on students K through 3. There's just not a lot of opportunities K through 3 for students. And then obviously opportunities for student employment. That's if this agreement goes through, that's going to be something the YMCA is going to have to handle is to be able to staff the building. And so we've got a ready group of prospective employees for the YMCA as well. We have agreed to, and this will be in the agreement that we release, a discount to residents on YMCA membership of 30%. Also, the YMCA has a great, very progressive membership structure to make sure that no one gets turned away from a membership. Again, the Y will rely on membership to be able to offer the ongoing maintenance that the district is saving so that we can provide programming on the YMCA campus. YMCA membership allows access to all YMCAs. So if you're a current member, you'll have membership to this. If you become a member of this, you'll have membership to all over Cedar Rapids and nationally. And then also special memberships are honored. It's been great. We've had a lot of people reach out, especially seniors, saying, well, I've got this special membership. Is this honored at this new location? Yes, 100%. Any YMCA membership is honored at this new facility. And also the YMCA offers a variety of accessible memberships and fee structures. So, at the end of the day, the YMCA has the expertise to run these facilities. That's what they do. That allows us to provide opportunities for students while at the same time making sure that we can have a rec center that's well run and increase opportunities in our community. So with that, I want to turn it over to Bob Carlson for any comment on what's exciting to the Y about this or anything that you'd want to share.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Appreciate being here tonight. The Y is very excited about the opportunity to work with College Community School District because number one, partnerships are the way to do this. The school does a great job what they do, and they have the bonding capacity to be able to build a building. But what we do is we operate them, and we operate them pretty well. So that's really our process here. And more than that, it's reaching out into kind of a new location for us, kind of a southern location. Our buildings right now are the Helen G. Nassif YMCA downtown, the Marion YMCA on the northeast side, and then this one would kind of fill the gap of the whole corridor, I would say. So it's very exciting because we're always trying to reach out and do more for all age groups. Doug, as you mentioned, multi-generational, that goes clear from the smallest of babies to the older adults, and we do it all. So families are our key. I know there's a lot of young families in the area. That's what we reach out to help, to try to make sure that everybody in that family has something to do at our locations. So very exciting for us. He mentioned membership. That's important because it's kind of the lifeblood of our organization, and being able to keep the doors open and pay the bills. Membership to the facility is an important process. The 30% discount to College Community School District residents is something we agreed upon to, hopefully get people to come and join the facility. and to retain their membership with us, because that's very important to us as we go forward. So great opportunity for us. Swimming, as we talked about this from the very beginning, we talked about, I know you've been talking about pools for a long time in the district, but one of the things about operating a pool is it's very costly. And so having a full service facility around it, in which members can come from all walks, it helps us to operate the pool, which is a very costly thing to operate in the Y. So we are the nation's leading swim instructor for kids, and it just feels right. We've got the right opportunity to do this. We're lucky to have Doug and his team who believe in the health and wellness of the community and to do things more for families like this. And so we jumped on board very quickly to come to the table and talk about this. So we're very excited. It's a great opportunity. Oh, I know one thing I forgot. And then I'm going to ask Sarah to help me if I forgot something else. But he mentioned the accessibility for all at the Y. We do have a scholarship assistance program for people that can't afford a full service fee, even if that 30% discount is too much. We ask you to come talk to us, and on a sliding fee scale, we figure out where your income lines up and are able to do a membership for everybody. There just shouldn't be anybody, especially youth, who cannot be afforded an opportunity at the Y, because we'll take care of them, put our arms around them and take care of them. Sarah, what did I miss?
I think you covered it pretty well. We'll see if there's anything else with the questions that we can clarify if there is something.
I know there was one other thing, Dick, and Doug mentioned it quickly. Once you're a member of any Y, you're a member of all Ys, but we also do have nationwide reciprocity, which means if you go to a Y in Boca Raton, Florida, or whatever, there's a Y, you're able to use your YMCA membership to gain access to that facility. And I don't remember how many Ys there are around the country, but there's a lot of them. Thousands.
And I think it's also important to note that while I wish this was the most creative idea on the planet to partner with the YMCA and have college community be on the cutting edge of that, it is an arrangement that is a way that a lot of Iowa school districts actually are able to provide swimming and access to pool recreation and wellness for not only their students, but their community. Waukee, Ankeny, Davenport, Council Bluffs, just to name a few. This is really the Y is used to partnering with school districts. And I think it's a great opportunity for a great relationship. So with that, those of you
and sorry, Doug, to interrupt, but because I wanted to go back and just say partnerships are the way to do it. We partnered with the city of Marion to build the Marion YMCA. So that's the way to do it, is partnerships. And lost my train of thought on the other thing I was going to say. No, but there are many partnerships with schools and Ys across the country, and we'd like to take the credit for it. We're only as good as we can pay attention to those other things and make them better in our community.
All right. So for those of you that are dying to see the photos, we'll move on to that. So we've kind of talked about the facility in general and the partnership that we have. We're getting close to being done with the slide portion of this and getting close to questions. So if you have questions, make sure you're entering those in the Q&A. But you can kind of see here the size representation of this building as it sits right here is basically just the footprint of the Marion YMCA. That was how we worked out costing and square footage. Again, the final design is pending the approval of the bond. So you can kind of see where it sits next to Prairie Heights Elementary School. Again, the big thing for the location choice was walkable location on campus. And some people were concerned about the congestion on campus. I do think our visitors to the Y will not be visiting us during drop off and pickup. We do get very busy as a campus 2 times a day. for about 15 to 30 minutes. But one thing that will improve that 15 to 30 minutes is this improved intersection right here. So again, we do work with the city. We're responsible for, if we improve land, making sure that there's easy way to get on and off of that land. And we have, in initial conversations with the city, has indicated we do need to make improvements to that intersection. That will either be a roundabout or a signalized intersection. We don't know which yet. Once we get into planning for this, they'll tell us. But either way, there's going to be an improved intersection there, which is going to be very helpful, not only to service the Y, but especially during drop off and pickup of getting people on and off of campus. If you've ever been in that line that extends from 76 down to the stop sign at that intersection of Hill and View, this is definitely going to be something that benefits the entire campus during drop off and pickup time as well. So this is just a program overview, again, not a final design, but program overview of kind of helping us understand what spaces we need. And I just want to point out a few things here. So the competition pool, the recreational pool, if you want to get an idea of what that recreational pool would look like, visit the Marion YMCA, because that's exactly what we're looking at there. Basically, the recreational pool is a pool that's kept a little bit higher temperature that's used for lessons such as, aqua aerobics. There's a splash pad in that and so forth. So it's sort of that more family, less intimidating than a lap pool opportunity for families. Also, you can see some exercise areas, locker room areas. Want to talk about these gyms right here. So there's 2 gyms right here that would be planned in this. And then this third area that's shaded out is called a multi-sports area. And what we envision that to be is a turfed area to offer a few other opportunities, maybe that are unique or would be unique to this YMCA as we move forward. Also, we have to account for bleachers. We do have bleacher seating needs for competitions. A competition pool is a minimum of 8 lanes. And with the diving well, and then also you need the spectator seating. You need deeper pool decks. I've learned a lot about what competition pools require over the last several months. And then the other thing I wanted to point out is just this, which is this is a walking track that'll be basically suspended above these areas. It'll look very much, like I said, if you want to get an idea of what this facility will probably look a lot like, visit the Marion YMCA. If there's things there you think that can be improved, let us know. Let us know if this gets approved and we get into final design. But OPN Architects designed the Marion YMCA, and OPN has been a long partner with the College Community School District designing our upgrades and new buildings. But this is a walking trail or walking path that's above that area. So again, I've been out to communities, and one of the things that I had a conversation with someone, their parents were in from out of town. They happen to live in Ely, and they had to drive to all the way to the mall to have indoor walking. So obviously this would be an amenity that will be probably very popular with people. So just a few images or renderings of what we're looking at here. The image on the left is just, again, a competitive pool design concept. This is actually a pool that OPN designed and built in Ames. And luckily, Ames has the same school colors as we are, so there's not a lot of changes that were needed on this rendering. But you can see a movable bulkhead. You can see this is a very large competition pool with diving well. You can kind of see the concept of bleachers up above that pool deck, how it's lit and those types of things. I would imagine we'd have more windows because this is kind of in an interior part of this building. Over here is the recreation pool concept, and that's just a snapshot actually of the Marion YMCA. So you can see in the foreground, there's a splash pad area for little kids, some areas to enter here that are more shallow, areas over here in the background for some of those classes, those water aerobics types of classes. Here's some images of the Marion YMCA. Again, these are the best images we had because they're recent. This is kind of the clean, open look that we're kind of known for here in College Community with our new projects as well. This is a building that's serving Marion very well right now. So again, we're going to have some different spaces. Ours is going to be different, but these are some good indications of some ideas of that walking path there in the center. And this is kind of that concept for the multi-sport area. These are a couple images that we've been looking at in terms of what that multi-sport area might look like. Yeah, and this is the information on the election. You can click these QR codes also going to our website. If you go to our main page and you go to the menu under district, you'll find Pool and Wellness Center bond information. You can click on that, and that has all this information on it as well. But election day is November 7th from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Make sure, I think they recently sent out the locations of voting. I know my location switched in the district here. So make sure you're paying attention to that, because we have some location switches. And you do have to, because of the new laws in regard to a lot of new election requirements, have to vote at your polling place. You can't vote anywhere, as some past school elections allowed. And again, just wanted to remind you that on our website, there is that information. So with that, we'll move into our question and answer section. Steve, do we have any questions in the?
Yeah, I got a few here. This is for the YMCA. What are the requirements for youth to access the facility, and do they need to be accompanied by an adult of a certain age or to a certain age?
I'm going to take that, Bob.
Yeah, why don't you take that one, because you always remember that one better than me.
Any youth over the 10 and older can use the facility without an adult. So 9 and under do need an adult with them in the facility. And anyone 13 and older can be in fitness classes. So 12, but they could also, and also then the fitness floor. So it's really, I think as Bob had noted, it's pretty young, but that's what we're here to serve.
Yeah, we're a kids sorry, Steve. We're a kids organization, so we try to make it accessible as much as we can. There gets to be an age when they've, when it's time, but we have a lot of supervision in the facilities, but we want it to be safe too. So we want to make sure they're old enough to keep things safe in some of those areas with equipment and that.
Okay, and this is for college community schools. Why not wait until our other obligations are paid off before building the pool?
Sure, I guess I can take that. This is something that we've been approached by the community about. We went to the community through the survey and asked if this is something that the community was interested in. But I think I noted that one of the things that we're trying to do is you don't just manage growth by having enough space for students to attend class. As we continue to try to engage students, we want to have a variety of opportunities for them. And swimming is one of those opportunities that has been a long discussion and request. Another one of those is orchestra, which we launched at the 5th grade this year. So again, we're trying to put the money to work for our students and for student opportunities.
And I would just add to that, because we can do it without raising the tax levy, that we can go ahead and do it now and not have our students and community need to wait for, another 10 or more years until our debt was paid off.
And I'm sorry, I'll interject. I'm not college community schools, but we shared a feasibility study to build this facility, the school district and the Y, and I'm amazed at how many people not only took part in it, but the time is ripe to do something like this because everybody's so excited about doing it. The market penetration rate for people that would use this facility is about 3 percentage points higher than when we did it in Marion. So it's an incredible show of faith from y'all's part to put something like this on the face of the earth. So I think time's right to do it.
I think it was also in the facilities committee looked at a lot of different options and things that people wanted and put a plan together that addressed the most pressing needs first. And we're moving through that list, and the pool was towards the bottom of that priority list after making sure we have enough classroom space for students. So it's been a long-standing point of discussion. Any additional questions, Steve?
No, that's it for questions.
All right. Thank you all for joining, and just want to remind you, however you vote, make sure you get out and vote November 7th, and make sure you're attentive to those changing polling locations. And if you have any follow-up questions, you can always contact myself or Steve Dozer. If you have any other Y-related questions, we will either filter those through Sarah and Bob, or you can contact the Y and ask those questions. We appreciate your time this evening, and we look forward to seeing what the community thinks of this idea. Thank you all.
Thank you.